Hi, I'm Rick Gillespie Mobley, and I'd like to share with you another one of my stories. And I share these stories because, well, sometimes to give hope. Sometimes we go through things in life and it's our fault. And sometimes we go through life and it really isn't our fault. And I want you to know that life isn't always going to be fair. God even tells us that in His Word. Sometimes things are going to happen to us and we're just going to have to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I can remember one time I was going to buy a gift for, I don't know, I can't remember who the gift was for. But anyways, I went into, and this happened in Georgia, small town called Dublin. This was back when segregation and Jim Crow and all of that was really, really high. And if you were black and you walked into a store, you usually immediately got eyes pointed in your direction. And I can remember that I had gone into Woolworths and I was going to buy a gift for, I can't remember whose birthday it was, but I do remember I was going to buy this gift. And so I had gone into Woolworths and I was looking around trying to find it. And for some reason, I took the money out of my pocket and I looked at the money and I walked out the store with my money because I didn't see anything I wanted. So then I decided to go to the other 5 and 10 cent store that wasn't too far away. So I went to that 5 and 10 cent store and I purchased whatever this gift was, and I started back on my way home. And I can remember as I was going up the street on my way home, when I got in front of the First United Methodist Church, this police car pulled up alongside me. And I wasn't afraid at that point because I hadn't done anything. And so the policeman stopped and they said, "Son, would you get in the car?" And so I got in the car and they said, "Well, boy, have you been doing anything today that you shouldn't have been doing?" I said, "No, I haven't." And they said, "Are you sure you didn't steal any money out of the store?" And I says, No, sir, I haven't done anything." And so the policeman, they says, "Well, we're going to take you back to the store and see if you're telling the truth." So they took me back to the store at Woolworths, and the lady comes out and she says, "Yes, that's the one. He's the boy. He's the one. He's the one who took those $5 bills out of the cash register. He took all 5 of them." And the police said, "Well, son, did you take those $5 bills out of the cash register?" I said, "No, sir, I haven't even been near the cash register." And she says, "Yeah, he's the one that did it." And she said there were 5 $1 bills. And I told the policeman, I said, "But I didn't have 5 $1 bills. I had a $5 bill. And you can take me to the other store and the lady can tell you that I gave her a $5 bill." And the police said, "Well, boy, you lied." And I said, no, sir, I'm not lying. You can take me to the store." And at this point, I'm kind of terrified. And so they take me over to the store, and I go to look for the cashier who I had purchased the stuff from, and I could not find the cashier. And they said, "Boy, see there, we knew you was lying. We knew you were lying. You did take that money." And as they were making this accusation again, I looked and I saw the lady. I said, "There she is. That's the lady that I gave the $5 bill to when I purchased what I bought." And so the policeman went over and they looked at the lady and they said, did this boy give you a $5 bill with stuff that he purchased here not too long ago?" The lady, she looked at me and she says, "Well, yeah, he gave me a $5 bill, but I don't know where he got it from." I was like, oh my goodness sakes. And so the police says, "Okay." And then they took me to the police station and they made me, they took me to a jail cell. I'm only 12 years old at this time. And they had me, I remember, take off all my clothes. And then they had me bend over as though I had these other 5 single-dollar bills hid somewhere in my buttocks or something. And so then they told me, they said, okay, you can get dressed and we'll be out to your house. And so they let me go and I had to walk on home. And when I got home, I was still kind of scared. And I told my brother Greg, I says, Greg, you'll never believe what happened to me today. And he says, well, what happened? And I told him the whole story of what had happened. And I didn't know my father was, my stepfather was listening through the walls. He had thin walls in our house back then. And so he comes out and he says, boy, are you telling the truth? I says, yes, sir. He says, you sure you didn't take any money out of the cash register? I said, I'm certain I didn't. So he said, well, I'm going down here and find out what these people are doing. So he went down to Woolworth's and confronted the lady. And it turned out the $5 bills were still in the cash register. The lady saw me as a little Negro kid with money in his hand. And why should a Negro kid have money in his hand? And how could he get it except that he stole it? So when she saw me with that money in my hand leaving the store, she just jumped to the conclusion that I had stolen the money out of a cash register that I had never seen. Well, my father initiated a lawsuit. He went and got a lawyer to begin a lawsuit process. I don't know what ever ended up happening with that situation. But you're going to have some experiences in your life that are, you're not going to do anything wrong. Things are just going to happen. But you can't let them make you become bitter. You can't cause them to use them as an excuse for turning to this drug or to turn into that drug or to turn to this lifestyle. Life is not always going to be fair. The sooner you recognize that, the more you will be able to realize God's grace can be sufficient for what you are going through. I'm Rick Gillespie Mobley, and that's one of my stories. I want you to know God has not given up on you, and God has seen your injustice, but you keep looking to God anyway.